Is the NBA a liberal hoax? It's the question on top of everybody's mind. I'm Cam from Bulwark. I'm joined today by my friend Chris Carden to talk all about it. Please leave a comment down below on if you think the NBA is just a liberal psyop. Chris, opening day has happened for the National Basketball Association. The Milwaukee Bucks won with your friend Giannis, the Greek freak. My Brewers Twitter algorithm was very happy about that. But real quick, there's been some sort of scandal with betting in the NBA that Kash Patel's FBI went after. And I don't really understand it. So I was wondering if you could kind of lay it out for me.
Yeah, so multiple teams, including players, current and former, and head coach of the Trailblazers, as well as the Toronto Rangers, as he so aptly included in this indictment.
Wait, actually, you know what? Let's watch that clip right now. Everybody, for those of you who don't know, there is not a basketball team called the Toronto Rangers. That is not a real thing. But let's see what the Federal Bureau of Intelligence has to say about it.
The indictment details specific examples where the defendants profited from illegal gambling and illegal betting on various NBA games about the performance of players on, among other things, the Charlotte Hornets, the Portland Trailblazers, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Toronto Rangers.
Dude, Kash Patel always looks so scared.
First time
I don't want an FBI director who looks like he's afraid all the time. So yeah, a bunch of teams, including the non-existent Toronto. It's the Raptors, right?
Yes, sir.
There was a betting scheme. Do you know how deep this went or how long it ran?
So, yeah, this has been going on for a while. I mean, there's been allegations of it ever since the league came into fruition. You know, there was the Tim Donaghy case back in the early 2000s. But this one started a couple of years ago. And these are two separate cases, right? So on one hand, you have throwing games or generally using insider information to bet on basketball games. And that's what Terry Rozier has been accused
of. So throwing
of.
games is when players who are in the game bet on the game and like deliberately fuck it up so they can make money?
Yes.
Like
or
the
using
from
insider
the longest
information.
Yard?
Exactly. So like Terry Rozier, for instance, you know, told all of his buddies, which kind of smart to be honest, told all his buddies to bet his under and then just exited the game by faking an injury one time. And there was several $100,000 of bets placed on that day, which who would be betting that hard on Terry Rozier? You know what I mean? That was an immediate red flag.
What team is he?
He is with the Miami Heat.
Oh, so this,
Yep.
well, I mean, there's a whole other conversation about who would be betting on the Heat right now. I think this is not a good time to be a Miami sports fan. So the FBI has done this investigation, obviously. Do you know if this was like a centralized thing where there was kind of like one head honcho that they're all kind of closing in on, or is this as of now like something where they're still trying to figure out who was calling the shots?
This is probably something, if they're zeroing in on a head honcho of sorts, it would just be somebody in the Gambino crime family, within which they've made several arrests. They were kind of behind all this. Oh yeah, this is mafia related.
Wait, the Gambino crime family is still a thing?
They are. Still operating.
The Gambino crime family that allegedly shot Curtis Lewa in the back of a New York yellow cab is still operating. You'd think that if there was a family that has been associated with crime since the 1980s, people would just be watching them all the time. But I guess it's just like they're doing it for love of the game at this point. Like, you're not even a real Gambino if you aren't doing crime.
Yeah. You think they'd change the name just to like get some of the heat off of them or something.
Yeah, but okay, so the Gambino crime, you're shitting me. Like that, there's no fucking way.
Yep. Multiple crimes.
Okay, well, so this betting scheme has been going on for a bit. I was kind of surprised because I was like, you know, the kind of manosphere adjacent Trump administration, you'd think that they wouldn't want to target sports because, you know, they're building a UFC ring at the White House. Like, I think they want to be the sports friendly administration. Listen, I'm not saying I'm a communist, but I'm saying if the United States government is going to run one thing completely in-house using taxpayer money, a sports network where you could get every single game for free ought to be one of them. Like, if we could spend $700 trillion on giving ICE ballistic missiles, I think we can make sure that everybody can access all of their team's sports in one location without having to get 6 different streaming services. We can get into the politics of that another time.
We can afford League Pass for taxpayers.
For everything, though. Like, it's not just League Pass. MLB, you have to have NFL, too. Like, that's the thing, other than it leading to a lot of job losses, it leading to a lot of TV and movie productions being made at a loss, which led to more people getting fired. Other than the implications it's had on the industry itself, that is the thing that pisses me off the most about streaming, is the fact that it fucked up sports. But, okay, so you got a Gambino crime family-related betting ring in the NBA. Wasn't there something also in MLB where Shohei Ohtani got in trouble for some sort of betting type thing, and then they threw
was his translator.
Well, that's what they say. That's what they say, because there's no way Rob Manfred, the commissioner of Major League Baseball, is going to let Shohei get in any trouble. He's their fucking star boy. But so as an NBA fan, is this something that NBA fans have just been talking about over like a beer over the past couple of years, and they've just been like, hey, by the way, there's people throwing games right now?
I think people are aware of it. You know what I mean? These are the best of the best. And so when you see some of these ridiculous plays, one of the ones that I think is so funny is, Jonte Porter with the Raptors, I think a year or two ago now. He was the first one to get popped. Same thing. Bunch of bets on his under when, most NBA fans even probably don't even know who that is, aside from just Michael Porter Jr.'s little brother. But originally, I remember seeing some of these clips of Terry Rozier coming out, just dropping the ball, boneheaded passes, and everybody tweeting, can somebody investigate this? Like, there's no way it's just Jonte Porter. And I like to believe that those tweets are what directly led to his indictment. Because
wait, sorry for me being stupid. First of all, that's entirely possible, especially since this is a very X-friendly administration. But help me out. I'm being stupid right now. Is it legal for athletes to do sports betting? And if so, are you allowed to within the rules of your sport?
So it will vary by league. Some are just now allowing players to bet on games if they're not directly involved with the game. So, a player isn't even allowed to bet on his over. I believe Calvin Ridley in the NFL, I believe he was betting on himself, and he was confused when he got in trouble because he was betting on his over. He was betting on his performance to be high. He wasn't throwing games. If anything, it was just a little extra motivation,
I think the way that we need a congressional stock trading ban, and that's something that the AOCs and the Marjorie Taylor Greens have been able to agree on, is that if you're in Congress, you should not be allowed to bet on the stock market. I think
especially
that
if you're legislating on those things.
Yeah, no, that's the whole point of it. It's just like you're showing your entire asshole if you're a politician, being like, I can get especially after COVID, especially after all the shit you saw Pelosi and a bunch of Republicans doing when they were like investing in different things that were so obviously tied to information they had about the pandemic that was not widely publicly available yet. But also, I think that if you're in sports, you can wait until you fucking retire to be making bets, even if it's on your over. I get the concept of you having more skin in the game, but you know what? It's too murky. But real quick, I want to take a look at what Stephen A. Smith. Do you know Stephen A. Smith?
Of course.
The sports commentator.
New York legend.
Yeah, he's a sports commentator. He was also on General Hospital, and he describes himself as an independent, proud capitalist. On the first episode of his podcast, he said, I believe in making money and ain't no damn way I'm giving that up, to which Chris Carden, whether or not he's physically doing it, in his mind is going like this. Said that he's had a couple interesting lines, had some criticism of Kamala, had some criticism of Trump. In May 2025, President Trump entertained the idea of Stephen A. Smith running in the next election. Trump said, I love watching him. He's got great entertainment skills, which is very important. People watch him, which seems to be true. Smith commented on the 2025 mayoral election, saying if the Democratic Party changed to be more like Zohran Mamdani, they would have no chance of winning future elections at the federal level, because Smith believes that America is about capitalism. So Stephen A. Smith is a sports commentator who's not afraid to throw his, we'll throw a picture of him on screen right now, not afraid to throw his hat in the ring politically, but he made an interesting comment on ESPN about this being a potential and this is kind of the center of the video, this being potentially tied to the NBA being filled with libs. Let's take a quick look.
How many times, for one incident after another, have I said Trump is coming? He's coming. I'm going to say it on national television again. Bad Bunny is performing at the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden you hearing ICE is going to be there, looking to engage in mass deportations. The Super Bowl, disrupting things. Big night for the NBA. Wembanyama put on a show. That has now been smeared because we're talking about this story, okay? Remember, Trump has a long, long history connected to the world of sports because he had those casinos. Where do you think folks were coming half the time? I'm not talking about individuals.
Trump also tried to buy the Buffalo Bills, failed, and then wanted to make his own football league, right?
I believe so. I think he's been talking about a football team since like the 90s.
Got it.
Talking about the culture. When people want to go to a casino, when people want to gamble, when people want to party or whatever the case may be. This was his kind of connection to that. Why am I glad you're here, Monica? Because don't be surprised if the WNBA is next on his list. Mm-hmm. Because when you've got all of these protests that have been going out there and people that have been protesting against him and what have you, this man is coming. He's coming. And I've been saying it for a long time. And to me, this is the latest nugget of evidence that we're talking about right here. That's not to question the legitimacy of the case. We don't know. We're all sitting up here and we're saying that we don't know. But anybody that has been around him, anybody that has talked to him, anybody that has seen his reactions from the sports leagues and the positions that people have taken, they are not surprised at what's going on today. I'm watching a press conference with the director of the FBI. Tell me when we've seen that. We've seen people, we've seen accusations before. We've seen athletes get in trouble with the law before. You don't see the director of the FBI having a press conference. It's not coincidental. It's not an accident. It's a statement. And it's a warning that more is coming. Mm-hmm. And that's what they're saying here. And everybody better, I'm just telling you, it's as serious as it gets. This ain't the platform for me to get into it the way I'm going to get into it. But I've been saying.
Let's get Kash Patel's response.
Yeah, down the street. By the way, this was so wild. Stephen A. Smith, the sports commentator, suggested that this was revenge from the president for all the kind of left-wing activism of the NBA. Your response to that, 15 seconds.
I'm the FBI director. I decide which arrests to conduct and which not to conduct. That may be the single dumbest thing I've ever heard out of anyone in modern history, and I live most of my time in Washington, D.C. It's right up there with Adam Schiff. We arrest people for crimes.
So I guess my question here is like, do you think, because Trump loves owning the libs, do you think that the administration was trolling with this one, or like, what do you think motivated them to put attention into this specifically? Because I think you might have had the right idea with the tweets.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a multi-billion-dollar market. So this is a big deal. You know, Stephen A., he made the comment that we've never seen the FBI director come on television and make a statement. And I'll grant you that I wasn't actively watching basketball at the time this happened. This is the very early 2000s, late 90s. But they did this when the whole Tim Donaghy thing blew up, as I understand. I mean, that was a big deal in the news outside of sports. I don't think this is unprecedented.
Well, I suppose I'm not familiar enough with Mr. A. Smith's commentary to speak directly to this matter. But my last question for you is like, I think that it is sort of widely understood that NBA has like the wokest fan base of any sport. I think you and I might have even talked about this, because when I was getting super into Major League Baseball, I was like, wait a second, is every other fan of this conservative? And is every Major League Baseball player conservative? Do you think basketball is the sport with like the highest liberal population, not only of athletes, but of sports? But of fans?
I do think so. I think it's popular in a lot of bigger cities in the way that football will have more of a reach in a lot of more rural areas. And so I think kind of the geographics and demographics kind of line up more to make that probably the most liberal fan base.
I mean, I'm not asking you to like be a fucking is it paleontologist? What is the word for like demographic expert scientist? Dante, do you know what I'm talking about? Like when you're talking about where groups of people live. And
Yeah, that's dinosaurs.
what's the word? Like not sociologist, but person who studies populations and migration and things like that. We're going to put the word and the definition on screen right now. We'll cut to it. I'll go find it when we're done recording. But I'm not asking you to be a whatever that was. But like, do you know why something like basketball would be more popular in big cities and have less of a regional reach?
Probably it's easier to play in bigger cities. You know, coming from a rural area myself, it was more difficult outside of maybe like the YMCA. If you got lucky and caught other people there, it's more difficult to find runs. Whereas in the city, you know, last time I came to visit you in New York, you know, the 15-minute walk to where you were staying, I think I passed like 3 packed out basketball courts. And that's before you even get into, you know, some of the more iconic locations. But I think it's ease of access.
I guess there's also like the college element too. I feel like college football is just exponentially more popular than college basketball. Maybe I'm making that up.
Outside of March, I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah. So, all right, everybody. Well, leave a comment down below on if you think the NBA is a liberal hoax. I kind of hate to side with Kash Patel here, but I also, you know, I don't like to be a partisan where I just disagree with people because they're fucking freak maniac weirdos. Freak maniac weirdos can be right about some stuff. I do think they saw an opportunity zone here to come after something that people were tweeting about, and they took it. Thank you for joining us, Chris. Everybody, stay tuned. We're going to have more crazy news for you coming up soon. Take care.